Hey everyone, welcome to a new episode of Class Action Megapark. In the last episode I worked on this river rapids right here in the corner of the park. And with that most of the swamp area is now done. In this episode I'm going to once again leave the swamp area for what it is. And I will be working more on this area over here. And I want to actually build a new coaster in this area. So the coaster that I'm going to build will be somewhat like, for example, King Daka or Top Thrill Dragster. But of course it's Class Action Park, so it will have a twist to make it a little bit more silly. So this will not be so much a deadly coaster, mostly just a silly coaster. But yeah, you will see it as I start building the ride. Now I will build it over here in this area, and I'll probably also have like a piece of track to occupy this area, because it will be difficult to put anything else here, because I was not planning on making a lot of paths in this area. Yeah, I will also not exactly follow this path here into this corner. I will move it away a little bit. But yeah, I'm excited to get started on this coaster, so let's get on with it. Alright, the track layout of the ride is now complete, and it's time to give it a test ride. But first let's go over some of the features of the ride. Obviously here's the launch track of the coaster. I tried to make it look like a hydraulic launch track, so like a typical Intamin Accelerator. Made a little winch building here with the winch for the catch car that pulls the train forward. And here it gets pulled up this lift. I'll probably make these Giga Coaster track pieces invisible, or I'll try to make this track look a little bit more thick. And up here, of course, we have a loop for the ride, like you will find on a typical accelerator coaster. And I didn't want to make it go straight back to the station, so I made sort of like a treble clef turn around here, something like that. I think that especially looks nice from this angle. So yeah, it's mostly just to fill up this area over here, where I wouldn't be able to really fit anything here otherwise. Alright, still lots of decorating to do. Oh yeah, I forgot one last feature here. Here's the transfer track of the ride, and it's actually an inline twist. Okay, yeah, I'm just going to put the train in test mode, and I will continue decorating the ride. For example, one thing I want to do is actually make these brakes use the Giga Coaster booster sprite, so these launch fins. And yeah, just some other minor things like that. I probably want to add some supports here for this structure. So yeah, still quite a lot to do. Alright, I found a nice speed for these trains. Now I also sort of was doubting to use the limb launched cozy trains, mostly for the reason that it will look nicer when it goes through this barrel roll. But yeah, it's just a minor part of the element, which is just here to be silly anyway. So I decided to stick with the stand-up coaster trains, mostly because they look more like the Intamin trains, and I also prefer the way they look. No, also they don't really have the sprite for banked curves, curve drops. I mean, but well, I think it looks nice enough. So with that done, I could work on the station, and I can also start working on the landscaping. And of course we're gonna need some custom supports for this tower here. I think I'll start with the custom supports because they're probably the thing that's most complicated. Okay, you can actually do the supports for coasters like this in many different ways. At first I thought of doing these roto-drop towers here, and then strengthening these with other supports to the side. But I'm probably going to make it more like Accelerator at Knott's Berry Farm. So basically for that I will make several long pipe pieces next to the track, and then I'll make diagonal supports going forwards. So basically they will go next to the track here. I think that will look best in this situation where we don't have a lot of space for nice supports. Okay, one way you can add custom supports to a coaster is by putting some of these observation tower pieces under them. Now, it's quite a tedious process, especially because you obviously don't want these top pieces to show. And in order to do that, what I like to do is to put an invisible path piece above them. So, for example, let's select this tile. Over here you can see the observation tower piece, and right up 4 units above it there's an invisible footpath, and that will actually prevent the top piece from being shown. So whenever you have any object 4 units above the tower piece, the top piece will not be drawn. So that's what I'm going to be using for all these track pieces. Alright, I'm glad to finally get these supports done. It's quite tedious work having to do all these pieces, but I'm happy with the way this looks now. Alright, with that out of the way, I should probably work on the station and the transfer track of the ride. I'll have to think of a way to make some nice rails here and some storage tracks, but thankfully I have enough space here to make that work. And then after that, still got quite a lot of landscaping to do. Alright, I made the station very simple, just a standard building with these open walls on the edge. Yeah, really not much to say about it. I did also make a little storage building here, and something which I like to do when I make a storage building like this is to make it look like it has garage doors and leave one of them open, and that will actually allow the viewer to see a track in here, and that just further holy shit that further makes it clear that there's a track inside to store one of these trains. Alright, I think that's enough decoration for this ride. Now, I really like the way it sits here in this corner of the park. I can probably remove this one. Right, I really like the way it sits here in the corner of this park, right next to the parking lot. So guests who park here have a really nice view. Also, of course, there's really a silly loop here on top. Probably a little bit unsupported, but hey, who cares? So yeah, really enjoying it so far. But yeah, done quite some work on it, but I think this is all the time I have for today. So I think I'll leave the building for, well, as it is now. Now, I have been getting quite a few new patrons. It's almost hard for me to keep up. So yeah, thanks a lot for all the support, guys. And I think it's time for us to add another few patrons to the park. So last night another 3 patrons joined. So I will once again add 3 patrons to the vicinity of this new ride. Alright, the first patron I'm gonna add in the park is T Sharp. Well, he can be a bandit here. Let's see if we can put it on top of this arch. There we go. Let's go, T Sharp. So yeah, thanks a lot for the support. Very much appreciated. And I hope you enjoy this really nice spot in the park. Alright, and the next entertainer. Let's put him over here. And his name will be Harimpi Darimpi. Beautiful name as well. Yeah, thanks a lot for the support. And finally, I prepared another spot here in the queue. So let's put another entertainer here. And I'll quickly have to look up the name. He can actually be a sheriff. And this name will be O Toaster. Another beautiful name. You guys come up with the best names. It's really nice. Okay. Yeah, I already said it. This is enough building from me for today. For the rest of this episode, we'll take a ride on this coaster. We can probably do 2 laps from different angles, since it's quite a short track. Alright, I hope you enjoyed watching me build. If you liked this video, please consider giving it a like. It will really help out my channel. I hope you enjoyed the episode, and I'll see you again in the next one. See you later.